Hi, one Malibu Sean Beatman here again. Well, believe it or not, I want to talk about the WWE on this episode of In This Corner. And well, some of these ideas I've been thinking of for the past week or so, and some I've been thinking since last year, some for few months ago. And well, I know people will agree on me on this, and some will be not agreeing on me on this. Like, first off, I want to talk about the bringing back the brand extension. You see, I know people are getting frustrated seeing a rematch from Raw on SmackDown or a rematch from Raw on last week's SmackDown, which is to me, why in the fuck are you making having this rematch? After a while, we're getting sick and tired of seeing rematch after rematch after rematch. Guess what? If there was a brand extension, it won't be a lot better seeing different having Raw has their own talent versus, and they have SmackDown have their own talent. Instead of we'll have to wait a week and see if what would happen. What would they do next week? Will they have a rematch or will they have two singles matches? And on what I should they should have a draft not a week a few weeks after the WrestleMania, have it the Raw after WrestleMania, so we can have people do what they do at the last two Raws after WrestleMania. And also, what WWE should, if I was running the WWE, then my number two thing I was gonna do is stop showing the WWE app, because there's some people who don't have a cell phone and they don't want to hear during the commercial on the WWE app every time they come back from the commercial break. During the and that's why they should have, back in the day they should have had what happened in a split screen when they came back and say a big move that happened during the commercial break. And over the years, if you watch closely in the WWE, they always have X amount of years. It'll be a wrestler's era. Then after when that guy had been on top of the mountain, it's time for the next guy, and so forth. But if you watch closely, the WWE has been pushing John Cena, Randy Orton for a decade, same Batista, but instead of pushing the next guys over, and to me, I like to see some new guys getting uh, some time to breathe. And look at The Rock, you won't see him in the WWE as much because he's busting Hollywood. And same as Stone Cold Steve Austin, he has his own reality TV show, he's had his own podcast. Bret Hart, last time I heard, he's a co-owner of a hockey team. And last time I heard from, well, one wrestler actually retired from pro wrestling and became a pharmacist, which kind of makes sense because he's a second generation wrestler, and his father actually stretched a few wrestlers, so that's a gimme right there. And the commentary to me, I like to see, instead of seeing on Raw we have Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole, and JBL, and on SmackDown we have JBL and Michael Cole, and you see, to me, hearing two shows with Michael Cole and JBL being kind of repetitive to me, why not have on one show Jerry Lawler and I don't know, Josh Matthews working together while JBL and Michael Cole work on SmackDown, because I see that kind of aspect because I see Jerry Lawler helping out one of the young guys out for color commentary. That actually have a good time as well. But Josh Matthews is actually doing the pre pre-show and post-show of the on the WWE Network, which I think is a good idea. But once in a while, have him do a sit in for Michael Cole or get a one of the producers in the back or agents come in and do color commentary with Jerry Lawler instead of Michael Cole and JBL and Jerry Lawler instead. So that's what I think as well. And one of my biggest concepts I like to say for the WWE of all time was the King of the Ring, but to me, it was a night before it was a pay per view or one. Sorry, 1993. It was actually a non. It was done for a big house show, and there wasn't from I'd say about maybe 86 on to 91, and the last time it was a house show event. Bret Hart won it, and Bret Hart actually won the first ever pay per view event called King of the Ring, and he's the only one to say that he held on to the King of the Ring title more than once. And when they quit doing the WWE's King of the Ring, for pay per view they had the King of the Ring finals once at pay per view or just for a WWE show, which I consider bunk right there. They did a King of the Ring tournament during a Raw, which I think was kind of stupid having a Raw just dedicated to the King of the Ring, which I think was not a good idea. But if I can see Raw will let at over the course of the year, like in Vegas or Atlantic City or Mohegan Sun, and also to me, I would see instead of having one section of just dedicated to the for the minor league group for the WWE called NXT. I was thinking, why not having four different regions of four NXT that has different styles of pro wrestling? Then, after X amount of months, we switch them around to get different styles, and well, then during the WrestleMania weekend, all four regions can go together to a Champions Carnival type event, almost similar to All Japan's Champions Carnival, and see which wrestling company, which stars of the future is considered the best of the best of the next generation. And some people, when these young guys are actually still wrestling in my minor leagues, I'll send a few of them down to Mexico, some over to Japan, some over to Europe to actually get some experience overseas so they can actually become a better star instead of being self-proclaimed best in the world. You see, there's some people who bust their butts off who go overseas and train and get trained by, by some some underappreciated talent or some in Hall of Fame or to get that their niche, their style, their own personal style. Like Daniel Bryan, he got trained by Masato Tanaka, Shawn Michaels, the Stelvin ass kicker Tracy Smothers, the British gentleman, the formerly known as the Real Man's Man, William Regal, and the fans call him best in the world because of his ability. And, and sometimes I like to have a working agreement. If I was running the WWE, I like to have a working agreement with, like I said, a a Japanese company or a Mexican company, and somehow I like to have during Survivor Series, which I think having title matches, an event called Survivor Series should not have been a good idea because I want to see it should be only one night that the team aspect over is more important than title, so we can have Team Raw or SmackDown against Team CMLL or Triple A from Mexico, while the other brand faces a team from Japan, like or from Pro Wrestling Noah or All Japan Pro Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, or and also have team have my women's division have them face off against a who's who, a combination of a big names of Japan Pro Wrestling against and some of the younger talent of women's division wrestling companies as a 5-on-5 match. And believe it or not, WWE used to have did have Japanese female wrestlers in the WWE in the mid '80s, and for a few months over in I think 1995. So and also like and also when I've been paying attention to the WWE's rivals, and also believe it or not, they always have well they've been talking about they do a monthly event called Fight Night, which typically they have open challenges for, for or they challenge someone in the back to come back over to fight them. And to me, it's it's good. It's a good concept, but to me, if I was running WWE, and I'll say the Fight Night concept every time Raw or SmackDown is on in Philadelphia, but to make it a lot better, make that Fight Night a little bit better with Extreme Rules, which make because Philadelphia is the old stomping ground of ECW, and and also for the last few to me I like to see everyone has been being put with crap 24/7, and I like to see to myself, well, maybe last night, last Raw and SmackDown of the year, why not have the for the brand shows? You know what? Why not have I don't know a War Games match at the end of each year so we can put out some steam in that kind of match, which can have the number one contenders versus the champions, and if it's in Philadelphia, throw in some weapons as well, so it'll make a lot better to do. And if it was actually if it's in and if the last Raw and SmackDown were in Philadelphia, like I putting those weapons, like and also to me, if I was earlier on, you hear me talk about the having a working agreement with a wrestling company like All Japan or New Japan, and hell, if it'll be an honor for me to, if I was, if on the January 4th show is coming up for New Japan, I'll be sending my representatives over to New Japan as out of respect for matches, and then down the line, I would ask them to, if they want to have some of their stars come be a part of my big show, WrestleMania, I'll let them do it and have a good time as well. And finally, because I don't, to me, I don't want my company to do any tasteful, actually, some very untasteful promotional tactics to get a heel over, just like what the WWE did way back in 1990, 1991ish, with the Desert Storm, which I consider it was a disgusting tactic to do to get Sergeant Slaughter over as a Iraqi sympathizer, or and also I don't want to have one of my heels to mock a one of my commentators who had a heart attack. Oh, because to me, heart attacks are not fun to mock someone with it. It could be someone who had a heart attack could have been a family friend, or a family member. Heck, what happened to Jerry Lawler a few years ago because at the hands of CM Punk and Paul Heyman, which was I thought I was it was to me that was tasteless and disgusting. And to me, heart attack. I will not get my one of my top heels over like that. So this is Malibu Sean Bateman signing off, and I'll see everyone at the Lining at the theaters.